Yo. Pretty
Yo, how are you, bro?
good. How about you?
I am living the dream.
Very good, man. Is that an Australian accent I detect, or what is that?
Yeah, yes, it is. So I live in Australia.
Makes sense.
Um, yeah, been here for about 6, 7 years now. I did a bit of high school here, and then went back to my home country for year 11 and 12, which would be grade 11 and 12. And then I moved here for university, and now work here. So yeah.
Ah, very nice. How does that affect your Dota experience?
Oh, I mean, it's a bit weird because when I'm playing back home, I have to play in Southeast Asia and probably around like 90, 100 ping. Um, and I think like skill wise, Southeast Asia is a lot better than the Australian servers. And I think one big difference between the two servers is like I think Southeast Asia is better, but obviously there's like a communication barrier. But when it comes to like playing in Australia, what I've realized is although the games feel a bit easier, um, the big issue is that a lot of people here kind of tilt a lot easier.
Interesting.
So
You're saying
yeah,
Australian servers tilt easier than the SCA servers, in
I
your
think so.
experience?
I think
Yeah.
like in my opinion, I think Southeast Asia at least there's like a bit of skill that goes on, whereas like in Australia the skill's okay, but then people tend to tilt more often, and I think the player base has started to die in Australia because my queue times go from like, depending on when I play, on weekdays it will be like anywhere from like 8 to 15 minutes to find a game.
Hmm.
But obviously, it's in Southeast Asia. It'll be like about 5 minutes or less.
Gotcha. So, are you generally playing on high ping then, though, or are you just what's the deal?
No. So since I'm playing Australia, my ping's now 30.
Okay,
Um, if I am playing Southeast Asia, it'll be about 100 ping. But I'm trying to see if I can find a ISP that allows me to play for fairly lower ping because
I
I wouldn't
gotcha.
mind playing in Southeast Asia. Not too bad.
Gotcha. Okay, so I see that you're a 5100 MMR carry player.
Yep.
I got a little bit of a background of what you just told me. What are you here for today? What I know it says like identify some strengths and weaknesses. But what would be like a successful session for you today?
I think personally, I've gotten to a point where I can't really identify whether what I'm doing is right or wrong. Like I can do it on certain heroes. Like my best hero is PL, and when I play PL, I feel like I can kind of read the game really, really well. But when I play other heroes, sometimes when things are going on in the lane or in the map, it's hard to understand what the win condition is. Like, for instance, if I'm playing PL, I could be having a really shit lane, but then if I pick PL knowing that I can win this game if I get farmed, then I'm like, okay, I'll play to hit level 6 in lane, not die. Then I'll go into the jungle, and then like I'll play based on my timings and my items and stuff. But I feel it's I'm kind of struggling to understand that sort of concept with other heroes at the moment. And I think sometimes in lane, because nowadays it feels like laning's a bit harder with all the fighting and obviously with region not being as good anymore. So if I'm not playing a hero that can win the lane like Clinks, it gets a bit difficult. And I guess I wanted you to just kind of assess um, what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and just so I can get like a better idea of how to play the game at a higher level.
Okay. And what hero are you in this game?
SF.
Okay. And what did you why did you choose this replay particularly?
So I've been back on the Dota grind for the past month or so, and I play on two accounts. They're both the same rank, and on this account, I've been winning a lot of my games, I would say. And the reason why I picked this is probably one of the only losses that I've had that felt a bit 50-50. Like some of the losses I've had people, grief games. I've had people pick like LC mid, stuff like that. But this game, I felt like at a certain point, I probably should have like made certain calls throughout the game, saying, "Okay, guys, let's take this, let's push this." But due to the lack of understanding of what to do and not having that sort of confidence in my decision making, I thought this might actually be um, a good replay to learn off of.
Hmm. I'm curious. What are your thoughts? Have you ever tried the Kayayasha carry build for SF?
I actually haven't, and I think that's one of the reasons why this replay would be good, in my opinion, because I kind of understand the hero at a decent like level, but now obviously with the Magic SF build kind of being popular, I'm not really sure when to kind of go for it. I did consider it this game, but then I looked at my team, looked at the Phoenix, and I was like, oh, maybe we don't really have that sort of physical damage. I was like, okay, we've got control with Disruptor, Primal, Willow, but we don't have anyone that's gonna do a bit of right click damage. And I think that's why I went with the physical build for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny because I think the bait that people don't understand is if you go Kayayasha, blink BKB, and then you just go damage items later with the level 25 facet or talent and everything, you still fucking chunk. Like, you actually are a physical damage hero, but you're like magic
Mm,
damage for the first like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the game.
yeah,
So for me, the biggest difference between the two builds is one, my ability to stand and right. Like I've only just started playing the magic build, but I like it's kind of like I'm just applying knowledge that I have from Dota in general to, and it makes a lot of sense to me why now after even only playing one game of the magic damage, why it's good in certain games. So,
yeah,
um, I basically uh I've thought about first off, how hard is it for my hero to just stand and right click people? So against
mm,
like Tiny and Axe, that's like pretty annoying because I can
yeah,
get stunned through BKB. If I don't pop BKB, I'm getting like avalanche tossed into the opponent. And then they have like Reaper Scythe, right? So for me, it's a really hard game to play where I'm standing my ground and right clicking. And on top of that, the way that the right click build generally works is I walk up to creep waves and I maybe raise them once or something, but I'm hitting them. Like I'm hitting the creep waves. But like with the magic damage build, you're just like raising it real quick and blinking out. So like the amount of time you show on creep waves is like way lower. So then I think how am I going to be kind of like pushing in creep waves and walking at them, or are they going to be trying to gank me on creep waves? Like, what is
yeah,
the dynamic there? So the reason why you might do better on a hero like Clinks, for instance, even though I know you only really mentioned it with the lane, is the hero doesn't show on lanes. He just like uses a shard and goes invis again, and then he kind of picks and chooses his battles. While a hero like SF doesn't do that. So like every time you show on a wave, every time you put yourself out on the map, you're very susceptible as SF to just getting killed. Um, but I think what makes him broken is he has two like really good builds, and they both
yeah.
scale the same way, but they get there a different direction, which is like pretty crazy. No, very few heroes, if any, have that in Dota. I'm not gonna
J-
say like your build is unplayable for this game. I just wanted to go
yeah.
in depth a bit about rather than just saying this is why you should have built magic damage SF. I would just kind of like to check in and say, what are your thoughts on all the things I mentioned about heroes that stand on the ground and right click versus heroes that don't show in lanes for a very long time versus heroes that like do their damage in fights all in 1 second? Like that's what the magic damage SF does, as opposed to a right click SF who's like kind of standing there and chunking people. Like what are your thoughts
Eh,
on all this basically?
just really quickly, I know in one of your recent videos you talked about how people go like Manta style, right? Like you buy Manta so you can actually push out the waves because the heroes that are getting picked in the support role are like your Spirit Breakers, Tiny Tusks, basically people that jump you. Would you say like Manta for most carries at the moment is like a necessity to actually push out the wave and not get ganked when that's kind of happening, or would that just kind of really just depend on the game?
Um, so that's a fair question. I think the Manta build is generally better. Like the optimal Manta buyers are the ones that can just rush Mjolnir and then buy Manta because or the heroes like Luna and Medusa, who just when they buy the manta, it clears waves. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the thought that I have about it is that when um right now in Dota, and I actually had a team coaching session about this yesterday. It was like a group of people that are like 3 to 5K, all playing in a team. And the first game, I basically told them, I'm shortening it up for you. You guys don't know how to push waves, and if you don't push
Yeah.
waves properly, then or not properly, if the opponent does it better than you, then you're fucked. So what I'm
Yeah.
actually learning in my coaching sessions, like as a answer to your question, is ever since the map has become bigger, the entire game is how can I show on creep waves for either the least amount of the game or the least amount of time while I'm showing. And those heroes are generally just going to be better in the game because you play off map, you set up kills that way, you push in the lanes, they show on lanes and they die. Like, I feel like as a carry, the majority of my deaths before 20 minutes are on a creep wave.
Yeah.
Like, just the majority of them. Or I just showed on a creep wave and then they ganked me like 10 seconds after because they knew where I was. Like, if I'm just off map all game, it's like really hard to gank me, I feel like, in this patch because the
Yeah.
map is just so huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if they do catch me, they usually have to like skip past a creep wave, and then like after they kill me, they just go get a creep wave anyway. Like it's not even like they're taking towers or anything off of it. So the whole game is kind of boiled down to this. It's always been that way in Dota, but ever since the map has been bigger, there's no real idea of like process of elimination. It's like very difficult to like find people by virtue of process of elimination. Like in the past, you could just do that and be like, they're not there or there, so they must be here. But now it's like they're not there or there; they could be here, here, or here. You know, and it's like, well, now you're ganking with like a 1 out of 3 chance to catch them, if they're not showing themselves. So the best manta buyers are Luna plus Medusa, and then like Wind Ranger, and the old one was Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Because he just rushed Mjolnir and then sent his illusions down the lane, with
Yeah.
Manta. And so
Makes sense.
SF, I think Manta's still really nice on him if they have like like an Ember or like something like this that you just need to like the dispel's really fucking good. But you know, I've watched a lot of SF at Dream League, and he's a hero that I've been studying a lot. And I think that on SF, when you have this problem of showing on lanes, you go the Kayayasha build. Like for
Yeah.
me, that's the
Makes
solution,
sense.
rather than Manta.
Yeah.
It's just better than Manta, in my opinion, on SF.
Now that
Yeah.
insight was really helpful. Kind of broadens the thinking rather than just about physical damage and magical damage. It's more about how fast can you push the waves and how safely you can do it and stuff. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, with right-clicking heroes, like right-clicking ranged heroes, in an ideal world, you would just walk it, like, you have a lot of momentum on the map, like, you just naturally right-click things out, you do a lot of damage, and you just kind of walk at heroes and collapse the map. And there are games where that's possible, but I think the reason that we're seeing the carries that we're seeing is because they have builds that naturally clear waves, or, like, abilities that do, like, I was like, I swear Morta's good right now. Like, that was my thought. I'm like, I swear she's good right now. But I didn't really understand the hero that well. I only had like 10 games on her prior to the patch. And I was like trying to figure her out. And I realized that the reason I thought she was good is because like she can just like dead shot the wave, right click it twice with a maelstrom, and just like it's gone. You know, like the
Yeah.
wave's gone. And then she also has like a built-in survivability mechanic with her ult and everything. Um, and like Wind Ranger's kind of the same thing, you know. Built-in survivability mechanic, can clear waves pretty quickly with a maelstrom. Um, and then what on top of that all these that like Wind Ranger and SF have is like if SF buys a Silver Edge and Wind Ranger just finds you by yourself, like you will just die to these heroes. Like they just fucking kill you. And I've learned with SF with the Kayayasha shit that you do just kill people mid game. Like you're such a huge threat and you just never show. And if anyone's ever alone, or you can connect to the primal somehow this game, you know, or like you have a
Yeah.
disruptor glimpse somebody and you just blink ult them, you do all of your damage in 3 seconds and then you're gone, you know.
Yeah.
Which against heroes like Axe and Tiny is really useful. Is I know I'm just kind of going on and on. But these are all the things that I've thought about with like SF and the carry pool right now and stuff. And
Yep.
unless they change the map or like significantly change the rules of the game, I think this formula will always be the same, and it'll just be which heroes do it best. Um,
Yep.
and right now, this is like these are the heroes that do it best, in my opinion. Um,
Yep.
yeah. Do you like Luna, by the way?
Yeah, I don't mind. I've played her a bit, but I haven't played her in a long time. I feel like, I don't know. Is she actually good this meta? I haven't actually tried her
Yeah, I
out.
mean it's funny because
I've
go
been
ahead.
playing more like Links, Wind Ranger, and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm 5-0 with her if my stats are gonna show up. I'm 5-0 with her this patch. Like, my last loss was in October. Like this patch, I'm 5-0 with her, and it just feels really good because she plays off map, and then you just buy like you do the defensive facet, and you just buy a Butterfly Satanic Swift Blink late game. You just blink on top of people and fucking kill them. That's been my experience. Is heroes that play off map and scale well, they just seem really
yeah.
easy to win. Um, from the carry role right now,
I
and I
think
do think
it's
Clinks and
starting
PL
to
fit
make.
that. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say it's starting to make sense because I find a lot of success in my pubs with PL given the right game and Clinks, and it's funny because both of them clear waves without actually showing on wave for a long time, and then you can just control the waves and make plays off of that. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yep, both of them are hard to gank, and they both clear waves. Well, let's check this game out because there's still going to be plenty to learn. I mean, if you have another game in mind after all this, let me know. But I think there's still,
Too easy.
despite everything. Yeah, landing overalls seems pretty solid. Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, your laning is good, at least from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I had a quick question about this sort of stuff. Like, if you could pause just then, um, you see how like the creeps got my support pulled the creeps, and now I've got this wave coming towards me.
Yeah.
Um, am I meant to like wait it out, not put it under the tower so it doesn't push out, or am I meant to like put it under tower, last hit safely without taking too much damage? Like this is one thing that I kind of get. I'm not too sure about when I lane.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
what's the right move here?
So let's just play it out. So tell me how you feel about what you did here. Like, so you do it. What happens to you, right? Like, let's just see. Like, how do you feel about this exchange?
Lost a fair bit of HP, and now I'm kind of struggling to get last hits. So I lost maybe about a couple hundred gold.
Yeah, you lost a decent amount of HP and you got pushed into tower anyways, right?
Yeah.
So the question begs is the only reason you'd sit it outside of tower is you don't think they can do that to you.
Right. Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So
like, if you're
it.
like a melee hero and you're level 3 and they're level 2, and like you're just gonna hold it here, and if they go on you, you're like a void, so you just or you're like a PL and you just like doppel the battle hunger and it's all good, you know. Um, the thing for me is I've learned in the recent patches. I don't know how like it feels like at some point it flipped, but I very rarely hold the lane outside of tower. I almost always want the
Yeah.
lane pushed out because you have Lotus Pool that you want to get to. You don't want them to pull this camp. You want to be able to pull this camp. So for me, there's like so many reasons why the lane pushing is generally good that staticking it in front of my tower for me is kind of outdated. Like very rarely do I get to do that and have it feel good.
Yep. Yeah. Makes sense.
Cool. And I think it was from basically having what happened to you there happen to me enough times where I'm like, huh, this just doesn't seem like the right strategy anymore, you know? I can't even explain to you why. It just feels like, I mean, I can tell you the things I think it is, but it's mainly just a feel of, huh, that didn't really work very well. a bunch of times. Nice try, nice try. So the one thing I don't think you necessarily do that I can critique on SF is that I want you to think of raising this axe right now as putting 2 stacks of Fury Swipes on him.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of these moments where if I like raise him right now and then I walk at the Mirana, like he doesn't really want to fight me anymore because like if the guy I actually want to hit and I want the other guy to fuck off, I'll usually raise that guy.
Yeah.
It seems like something you've kind of missed throughout the lane, meaning like I haven't seen you do it. And the times where you've raised him, you haven't really treated him like he's a guy with 2 Fury Swipes on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it, at least.
That's a very simple way of looking at it. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because if he has a raise on him, then, like, he's not doing this.
Yeah.
That's obviously, like, a very SF-specific thing. But the way that I like to think about it is, on any hero I play, is there an equivalent of this? Right? Is there an equivalent of something I can do that makes them, like, scared to walk into me? And a lot of heroes have it, and you also have to know, like, if I'm Muerta and it makes it scary for them to go into me because I can just deadshot the guy away and he's going to take 5 right clicks, the second I don't have deadshot anymore, he's probably going to run at me. You know? So then I think, if I'm Ursa without Fury Swipe stacks on him, I probably won't take this fight. If I have Fury Swipes on him, I will take this fight. Like, it's like a completely different approach to every engagement based on whatever skill or trading spell that my hero has. Sometimes it's like a defensive spell that makes them not want to go on you. Sometimes it's an aggressive spell that makes them not be able to weather the damage, so that, you know, it makes them kind of fuck off that way. I just kind of want to draw attention to the fact that I think every carry has some degree of this.
Yeah.
And one thing is, first, acknowledging it, and then secondly, kind of you can master it by learning to set it up. In various situations. So I would say Clinks and PL don't have this, though. Both of them are just kind of poke you heroes. They don't really have to play on these timings or like these specific power spikes. They just kind of trade well or chill. Like Clinks trades well. PL just kind of chills. So I wouldn't say that skill applies on them at all. I'd say most carries have some degree of this. And maybe, you know, I do think there's a lot of truth to if somebody has like 2 heroes that they're really feel comfortable on, that it just happens this often where I'll talk about a mechanic that I think is really useful or like a concept, and the heroes they like playing don't use the concept. You know what I mean? I've noticed that a lot just in my like anecdotal evidence of coaching. So I think this makes sense that you probably don't do this across most heroes. I can't say for sure, but yeah, just something it would be for me a major takeaway for your laning stage play, because I think your like equilibrium play, what I mean by that is like when you're just supposed to go for CS, you're just supposed to click people, you're good at that. Like,
yeah,
when nothing fancy is supposed to be happening, like your mechanics are quite good. Like I was like, oh, like that was smooth. He got every CS. He was clicking the Mirana in there, and that would make you look good on Clinks too. You know. Being able to like balance harassing and CSing. So for me, that's would be my main takeaway from your lane. I'd say that, and just the general like don't hold the lane outside a tower. Aside from that, I think that the lane was played quite well. This kind of just sucks. I think that guy was like invis or something. Yeah, that sucks. Let me actually rewind for a second, and I'll say this. I actually don't want to just chop this up to this just sucks. At past the 5-minute mark, if the lane's pushing, you pull the small camp. That is just 98% of games. I actually, this is a huge thing that I've had to coach so many times. I basically want you to think that past pretty much on every ranged hero, but like honestly, I think every carry in general, I'd say especially the ones that can jungle fast. Like right now, we would just want to. I would probably walk over because I have so much time. Like I have such a massive creep wave that's pushing this. I have to be at the small camp at like 6:20. So I would push. I would hit this, and then I would farm this with my raises, and then I would pull this camp at 6:20. And if you still
Yeah.
die over here, then unfortunate. Like I might still die there anyways if it's like an invis necro ganking me. But the point is like we'd much rather see that than what you're doing here, where you're all the way up here.
Yeah.
And the main emphasis is we just don't lane past a certain point in the game, in my experience.
Yeah.
And this has to do with the whole idea of playing lanes, like meaning pushing lanes and showing on them. Honestly, I start that at like 5 minutes. Like
Yeah.
but it's like obviously plays itself differently at 5 minutes than it does at 20, right? It's like at 5 minutes, a lot of it's like, how do I get the lane pulled back to my tower? How do I rotate between this camp and this camp? If I'm really strong in lane, I can incorporate this camp. But like otherwise it's
Yeah.
these two. And the heroes that do the best in the meta right now, they just fucking clear these things. Right? Like they're the ones that just do it the best. So I also like Luna for that too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's funny because I don't think I would be pressuring this tower. I probably would have just hit the. Okay, now I see 3 bottom. I would be pressuring the tower. Huh. What is your thoughts between this tower and these two camps?
Well, I think what I did do over here was I think I just wanted to take an objective to open up the map a little. I know this tower doesn't really do much, I guess, but I thought, okay, Axe obviously doesn't want to stay in lane anymore. Maybe I can pressure this tower and then go back to farming the neutral creeps. That was literally it, I think.
So for me, the way I look at this tower is during the time that I take it, how many of these camps did I miss?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't have like a perfect number, but maybe like 2 or 3 is what
Yeah.
I would be willing to miss max. Ideally 1 or 2. And so if we just like rewind between all the times you're hitting the tower, like this kill is
About
fine,
3 minutes.
right? So it's like it's about 2 minutes worth of camps, so that's 4 camps. And it's
Yeah.
like it seems small, but like I would not be hitting this tower like this basically. I'd be clearing the camps every minute, and then what happens is you clear the camps faster and faster, and then by the time you go kill the tower, it's free, So I would be doing 300 damage a minute on the tower rather than 600, but I'm clearing both the camps.
Yeah.
That's how like I would balance it. So there's also just an X% chance you die here. And the only way I'd really hit this tower is if I saw Axe leave for some reason, and there was a lot of pressure being applied somewhere else by my team.
Yeah.
And in that case, I would ramp up my sense of urgency to capitalize on a free tower. But yeah, I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but I would definitely tilt your like your priority meter towards the camps higher.
Yeah.
Like I can see what you're going for. For me, it's just I don't think it's as good. Yeah, now you go for the camps. So yeah, it's interesting. You know both mechanics. You're just choosing, and you're going in the opposite order than I would go. So what are your thoughts now? What's happening in the game?
Well, at this stage, since my team came top, I felt pretty strong to fight. So I was like, all right, we got a kill. I could TP bot and farm bot, but I was like, since the team's already here, one thing that I've been trying to do is like try to play a bit more active because I'm more of a passive player, you could say. But every time I'm watching like Pro Dota or watching like a really high level carry play, I can see that they're always trying to play with the team when there is an opportunity. But I guess this might be the wrong thing because one, there's no objective if we win the fight, but if we lose the fight, then it would be really bad because I'd assume, you know, 3 or 4 of us would die. Maybe we lose a tower. So in hindsight, I think I could be just TPing bot, farming that instead of trying to force this fight top.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So I can see. I mean, I think it's good that you like have identified for yourself that you maybe play a bit too passively and that you want to like try to tilt it in the other direction. So um this by my armchair psychology, this is like what happens when you try to do something that you don't understand.
Yeah.
Um so for me, I'm going to right now I want to try to help you understand what I think you're seeing when you watch pro level players. And I might be wrong, but this is like I have thought about something similar. Like I used to be a very cautious farm only kind of carry player. And so I've kind of gone through like a similar journey of, you know, how do I find that right balance? And then initially I was like feeding and stuff. And nowadays, like sometimes I still catch myself like TPing to fights I shouldn't TP to. In the past, I would have just not TP to them and stuff. Uh, but yeah, so like I get the problem, and so I'm gonna do my best to just explain how I look at it. Um, so basically, the same way that I talked about the tower, where I'm going to clear all these camps around me and then I'm going to include the tower, it's the same with fights. Like, I feel like, oh, I've farmed all I want to farm. Oh, there's a fight going on? Nice. I'm going to go walk at it. So, like, for me, it's have I farmed everything I want to farm? And is there nothing else to farm right now? If the answer is no, then I'm not fighting. And if I find myself in a fight where I was just farming, my team shows up like this and they gank for me, then I just say, okay, like that's fine. I'm not like worried that my team did that. The first moment of opportunity I get, I check the map, I see farm, I leave.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of what I try to tell people is the towers will feel very natural to take and the fights will feel very natural to take if you are farming really fast and thinking about your satisfaction of the farm you're getting on the map and feeling like, am I applying my strength to the fullest right now? Like with how much I'm able to farm. Like I wanted to think, how strong am I in fights and how fast do I farm? And how many creeps am I missing by sitting here? Like these, like it's the
Yeah.
weight between the farm and the fighting. So in general, there'd be times where maybe you stuck to jungling too much when the enemy team was trying to fight and your team was taking the fight. But the last thing we want to do is get ourselves stuck in fights when there's farm to be had. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did that
So would
help?
you say in
Okay,
this
go ahead.
situation, would you like TP bot and then your team takes this fight and they end up losing, or would you say, guys, like, okay, we've got the kill, let's go back to farming and then try to get the team to farm as well?
Yeah, so what happens is you guys were playing aggressively, right? Like, let's just talk about it. You guys are playing aggressively. They're going to pursue into you. You guys are going to use Disruptor ulti. Gets a pretty good one. Kill the Morana. Don't have detection in time. You glimpse the axe. Let's see. At what point is this feel over? You know? I'd
Now.
say right here.
Yeah.
This is the moment for me where, like, I would have been doing exactly what you're doing. Where, oh yeah, like, I'm strong. Here's a fight. Like, my Disruptor's glimpsing him. He landed a pretty good Static Storm. We killed a guy. We might be able to get this axe. Like, I'm thinking everything you were thinking, I think, up until this point. Right? So this is the point where I'm just like, this looks kind of over now. I'm like half HP against Necrophos, and like they're chasing us. And oh, so when I think that, I'm like, is there anything else for me to be doing right now? If there isn't, like say bottom lane's at their tier 1 tower, then I would probably just hit this camp over here and be like, let's see what my team's doing. And if not, based on what I see on the map right now, I'm like, oh, I'm going to TP bottom, guys. Be careful. I'm just going to say that. And
Yeah.
Up to them what they want to do with that.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that occasionally, or maybe more than occasionally, people will flame you for. But it's just so wrong, in my opinion, to succumb to basically people flaming you, because people that flame you in this situation, they just don't understand how a carry player is supposed to play. Like, they just don't. And so I've made like I'm not saying you're doing it, but I've made like the anxious, try to make sure my teammates don't get upset with me, try to make sure that they don't take a bad fight after I've left. And for me, it's being aware of why I'm doing it and what I'm doing, and communicating to my team when I know it's relevant to them. I just don't want them to magically be like, oh, where'd my SF go? So, like, that's why I'll say, yeah, guys, I'm TPing bottom, be careful. Like, that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah. To account for that. Because it is relevant that you are, like, TPing away from your team. But I can just tell you it is the right play to make here.
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
No.
Cool. Yeah, I'm getting a little too stuck here. Your Invoker ends up going bottom, which means that now mid lane's kind of open. And I probably would go there now, given the reality of the game right now. But, okay, you walked at them. I mean, this isn't really a fight I want to be in, to be honest. Yeah. For me, the last about a minute has been, like, what I would consider inefficient. Now we're kind of resuming back to what, we want to be doing. My question in these type of situations, but it applies to every single game, how often are you generally thinking about what's going on down here and, like, the pressure that's going on here?
I would say a fair bit, but I think one thing I do struggle with is like knowing when I should do it and if it's the right play to do. Because I think the reason why I'm still playing here is for some reason I do feel a lot safer here. I was like, because in my head I'm like, okay, maybe when the creeps push into my tower, I can clear that. I can farm their ancients. I can farm these little camps here, and then once there's a lot of pressure, then that's probably when I would migrate towards the bottom lane.
Gotcha. So, man, I mean, I don't really know how to make videos on this kind of stuff. I need to think about it. It's pretty advanced, but I think it's digestible. I mean, when I say advanced, it's like I can't just say this is how it works. So at least I'm not right now able to articulate that. So the way so what I heard you say, correct me if I'm wrong, was kind of like, I don't know when to capitalize on pressure in other lanes. I'm not exactly sure when I'm supposed to make pressure in other lanes, and I feel safer here, so I end up staying here. Is that like approximately what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So for me, the way I think about it is past 6-7 minutes, all three lanes are created equal. All I'm thinking is how much pressure is in each lane and how much of that can I influence? So right now, there's a lot of pressure on your bottom lane, and there's been 4 heroes showing themselves top, and Tiny's on a ward, so I can significantly relieve the pressure bottom while farming fast at no cost to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to die, I'm going to get farm, and I'm actually just going to have jungle camps right behind it right afterwards. So for me, it's like, rather than should I go capitalize on pressure or create pressure, it's more being aware of what is happening in each lane, pressure-wise, and our goal is to ask ourselves, which lane can I go to that, like, best utilizes my hero at any moment, and it becomes reactionary. Like, or it's like a flow state kind of, just like, it's not even reactionary, it's more instinctual. Like, I don't want to say reactionary because you are being proactive to some extent. So it's like, what I'm saying is, I'm just going to kind of guide you through my thought process here. Okay, so you missed the opportunity to TP bottom and create pressure there. When I say create pressure, I'm saying change the dynamic of the pressure in the bottom lane. So what happens there, because you don't do that, is the guy that was creating pressure on mid, that should be killing this tower, is instead walking towards bottom to fix this lane. So now the lack of pressure is going to be on mid lane, like meaning I'm seeing that this is like an empty pocket on the map. So after I see this guy push it, I'm like, oh, there's pressure on mid lane now. So like I would have been over here TPing mid right now.
Yeah.
Based on the, like, ignoring the first thing at 1140, I'm now looking at the map seeing 3 heroes top, 2 heroes bottom, free pressure in the mid lane, and then if I want to show up to this fight afterwards, go ahead. But, like, good fights will happen when I significantly change the pressure that's going on the map. Somebody on their team goes and shows on a creep wave. The reason why, like, you guys don't have your full force of heroes is because your Invokers was busy scooping up bottom wave. Like, say you had scooped up bottom wave here and Invoker pushed this, maybe he's here right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's for sure going to be, but, like, you know, it's a completely
Makes
different
sense,
game.
Yeah.
It's also
And he's
fun.
probably the right hero to be top instead of me, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got an Atos, and he's got a pretty active build. I was like, maybe not. I'm like, maybe he has like a Midas or something. But like, yeah, in this case, I think it would definitely be better to have him there, not you. And you'd rather be the guy scooping up the farm, and then like you clear this, you go here. If this lane pushes in, you go here. So like my decision after I clear this wave to go here or here is determined if I think I'm going to end up having to go here. Like if I think I have to go here next, then I'll go this direction first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I think I'm going to come back to this lane, then I'm going to go here first, then here, and then here. Do you see how like that nuance of here, then here, then here is so different than here, then here, then here? It's kind of fun, right? I think it's fun to think about it this way. How big of a difference it says about your awareness of the map for you to go this way compared to this way, right?
Yeah.
Even though both of them have 2 camps, right? So it's both like farm for you. So yeah. These are my thoughts. So like right now I'm just like, this is how I'm looking at the map. So rather than thinking about some grand move or some like cool, crazy pressure move that you're going to make, it's more just what lanes could be fixable by you or could be changeable by you. And so like if I see my team playing bottom and I'm like, I could show up to this, meaning like they're already pressuring, and I'm like, if they get gone on, I can definitely just click the guy going on him. If that's the case, then I might be ready to TP. You know what I mean? But then that gets a little more specific when it comes to like fights and capitalizing on your team's plays. That's like probably the next level of this discussion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Let me know if you have questions.
Too easy.
Yeah, like this whole time I'm like, man, I must have missed a wave mid or something.
Yeah.
So now Primal goes there. So since I saw Axe and I saw Phoenix, like after I clear this, I'll probably go top, which is what you're going to do, it looks like. You're going to jungle your way there. That's fine. I don't mind jungling my way there. You're going to do that. You're going to back off. Okay, yeah. So, like, at this point, we're no longer acknowledging the hypothetical of we could have gone bottom, then mid, then, like, the whole map would be different. But I also want to say that, like, by doing these decisions, the map is going to become way more dynamic to you. Very few games do I play the way you're playing, and it's only if I'm completely undisturbed. Like, very rarely will I find myself only in one lane for the first 15 minutes of the game. It's just meant to... I don't want it to be like a sign of failure to you, meaning like there might be games where it's correct, but more so pay attention to the trends across all of your games. Look to be a bit more dynamic on the lanes we're playing. I had a educational Smurf video that was like how to always get a 12-minute Battle Fury.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that one already or no?
I watched bits of it. I don't fully recall the video, but I do remember seeing it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend you check. You just spend maybe 10-15 minutes watching that because it talks a lot about like the dynamic nature of just going from lane to lane. And it's the same thing in every skill bracket. Like I did it in 2 separate games there. One game was a 2K average, the other game was a 4K average. So it's like, you know, for me, it's the same thing. I'm just responding to different lanes and then being a bit more dynamic on the map, and then you kind of just end up not taking undesirable fights, but you're also useful in the game, and then you
Yeah.
get a 12-minute battle fairy.
Yeah.
This is assuming that I think this would work for you because your laning generally is quite solid. So like the only
Yeah.
reason
Okay.
that video wouldn't really work is because people just kind of suck at laning and then they just
Yeah.
don't hit their timings. But you've got the first 5 minutes pretty solid down. So I think that video would help you a lot with the
Okay.
lens that we've been talking about today. Okay, so you go to a fight here. Yeah, nice, nice. Very nice. Okay. So, that was a cool fight. You're going to push the wave. So, okay. Going off of what I've just got done discussing, this is stuff I think about as I'm chasing this Mirana, by the way. Because it's like very mechanically simple to chase this Mirana. What I'm trying to tell you is this is the earliest I think that you'll have time to think about it because otherwise you were busy fighting. But what I'm trying to tell you is throughout the entire course of the game, I have that instinctual calibration of the lane situation, right? And then every fight that
Yeah.
happens, I need to know that I've now spent 20, 30, however many seconds not paying attention to that, right? Because I'm busy. So at some moment in the fight, I need to now realign what's going on. So when you get really good at this, you can have a good idea of what your next like 40 seconds is going to look like. Because it's usually the amount of time that they're like dead for, and it takes them to like get out on the map again. It's like 30 to 40 seconds. Like we can map that out really cleanly. So right now, what are your thoughts when we look at the map and we think about it and all that kind of stuff?
Mm, well, I think all the creeps have just spawned again in the jungle.
Yeah, true.
I can see mids being pushed in. Um, in this moment when I was playing this game, I wanted to get that kill and then maybe start pressuring bot because I was like, I have ult.
Not a thing. But
Obviously I've got
continue.
5. I've got like the 5 armor reduction, um, the buff as well. So that's ideally what I wanted to do.
Okay. So, how do we decide to hit that tier 2 tower? The answer is simple. How many creep camps am I going to miss to go hit that tier 2 tower? So, if it's 15:45, all the fucking camps are fucking dead, and you've got all the same things, go hit that tower, sure, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
many camps am I missing? So, hitting the tower in this case, based on simply your first point of it's 16 minutes, every camp on the map has respawned. That tower, off limits. Like,
Yeah.
just not a thing. So, we want to align on that. Same principle as what you did for taking the tier 1 tower at 9 minutes. It's even more pronounced here because this tier 2 tower really doesn't do anything for the map. The only reason we take towers is to farm more camps. So if we have camps to farm, why kill towers? That's how I think about the map. And I know pro players think about it this way too. So it's not like me on my own island over here, conspiracy theorizing the map. Basically, what I want you to think when you get out of a fight or you're making any decision between going to objectives or going to fights, how many camps am I missing? You may not know the exact answer in the game, but feel free to watch back your decisions and be like, did that feel like a good balance there? And we just need you to refine that over time, that balance.
Yeah. I think the
go ahead.
only time I think about this is when the team wants to do Roche. I'm like, okay, what camps can I kind of farm and then go? Like, I'm thinking about, oh, have I cleared the triangle and then I'll go into Roche? Because I remember, I think this was like maybe a few years back. You had a video and you talk about the same concept of how many creeps you're missing out whenever you're playing for these objectives and stuff. So I think it's nice to know that like I have to start implementing this with a lot more things. So I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Cool. So I'll just give you my exact answer of how I would play this one out, so you have like an example.
Yeah.
So what I would be thinking right here is that the way I view the map is, somebody gave the good visual of it's not a square, it's like a paper folded over because you have the twin gates.
Yeah.
So it's more like a cylindrical paper folded over. So pretty much in my experience, very rarely do we walk to mid lane unless we're farming our way there and the lane's like right here while we start that.
Yeah.
So like if the lane was right here and I wanted to go and I was here and the fight took place here, I'd be happy to walk towards mid lane by killing this camp, and then walking there. You know what I mean? But I'm giving an example of that's like an exception to when I will walk mid lane, but very rarely will I walk to mid lane. And it's nice to TP to mid lane on either team because if I TP here and clear it, or TP here and clear it, I have this nice little like whoop farming pattern or whoop farming pattern, right? It's like really nice. And on Dire, it's the same thing. It's like whoop or whoop. Like I have this whole like walk through camps galore. So it feels nice to TP to mid and then farm away from mid. That feels nice in pretty much every game. But it feels really weird to like walk towards mid in my experience. Like that's just something I'm thinking about. So I see these two lanes and I'm like, okay, well, mid's a problem. Somebody else can TP there. That's not on me. Oh, but top lane. And so I would quickly look at this and be like, oh, it looks like it's going to push into my tower slightly because their wave is going to get here before mine. Like I just know this looking at it. So, like, look at what's going to happen, right? Their next wave is going to get here before your next wave. I started this thought at 1604, right? So, at 1604, I already knew I was going top, just so you know.
Yeah.
And this is what happens, right? This is how I knew I was going top. So, I'm going to see that this lane will be at my tower by, right about... When's it going to be there? 1650? Is when it's going to be there approximately. Like it's going to be pushing in 17. So like the point is I know that lane's pushing in. So what I would have done? I would have constructed a plan to get myself top by about the time that I thought it was there. Yeah. Right? So what I would have done is I would have gone back to 1604. And I would have been like, oh, I'm going to have to go through gate. And so since the wave's not pushing that fast, my farming pattern would be wave, this camp, gate, this camp, lane. Probably like this camp, and then it's probably the 17-minute mark right there. So like this camp again, and then the lane.
Yeah.
Because my purpose for lane pressure is irrelevant bottom. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of it's kind of it's a whole theorized discussion, but I hope you get the drift of what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Cool.
That makes sense. I think you're just trying to maximize the map as much as you can.
Yes. So we kind of end up with like I'd say this is like a 5 out of 10 efficiency, maybe 6, like just for your bracket of play. Like, if I saw a 2K do it, I'd be like, nice. But like for you, I'd say it could be better. That's my thoughts. And then for me, I don't know how to explain this, but when you stay in the wrong lane for pressure, this type of shit just happens, man.
Yeah. It
just happens. I can just tell you it's hard to quantify or describe it any more than that. It just ends up being bad situations.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the BKB is good. I would have gone Silver Edge after it. Because I need to not get initiated onto, and they have like tiny axe Marana. Like they have like invis and like tiny axe. So it's also like the best item in the game in my opinion is Silver Edge. So I would just I would go that here. When I'm thinking about I want to play map, I want to make sure that I'm not the one getting caught like I did bottom. And,
Mhm.
you know, the items that need to be in your inventory before Silver Edge are when I reveal myself, I can do my job.
Yeah.
So I don't think you could have gone it before BKB, is what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like right now, since I'm realizing that Silver Edge got a massive buff with the move speed reduction thing that they gave it, but just realizing that the whole map, the way everybody's playing and that we've discussed earlier, it's just so good to be invisible.
Yeah.
That's why
I
Clinks is
think.
so good,
Would you say
right?
it's the same concept as I know you talk about BKB being like a farming item because it allows you to farm a certain part of the map without
Yes,
being killed. You can just BKB TP away. So would you say in this situation that sort of item is like the Silver Edge BKB combination because I can push the
exactly.
wave, Silver Edge, and run out?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
couldn't have said it better myself. That's a great conceptualizing of it by you. Uh, okay, so now you're gonna do the whoop farming pattern. That's what we call it. You just loop your way to a side lane. This one feels very natural. So based on what I see on the map right now, I would go through the gate and hit this. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of heroes mid. Influence pressure in a lane that I can influence, right? That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think I started to struggle with this once they introduced like the portals and stuff because that's when I started playing Dota less, and it kind of makes sense because back then you didn't really have the option to do that, so I didn't have to think about that too much. Like you'd probably have to TP ages ago, but now you can just go through the gate and
Yeah, in the
get
old
waves.
days, you had one decision. It was to go mid or not. Like to walk towards mid or sorry, you had walk towards mid or TP bottom. Those were like the two choices. Nowadays, you always have two options to walk to and two options to TP to. So it's like it's twice as many options, but it's like 5 times as much to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So it
makes
is
sense.
just harder, but yeah, incorporate twin gates basically. Um Yeah, I don't think Hurricane Pike was really necessary this game because there's no like Ursa PA type hero that I need to get away from. Like I'm either getting called or not, basically. Um so my thought is that Hurricane Pike doesn't do too much for me here. I don't mind the Dragon Lance for like the early to mid game tankiness, but I probably would not have gone the full Hurricane here. Um So you're gonna walk away now. We're just kind of monitoring the map. You're... Yeah, so basically against the heroes they have, playing the hero you have, if you don't have a Shadow Blade, it's really hard to play by yourself on the map. So naturally, you kind of are just chilling with your team, which makes
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense. Yeah,
Like with the items you have, I would be doing the same thing you're doing. And it feels really bad to be like this farmed and like be playing this way on the map. Okay, you go for the egg. Might work. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah. I literally lost a game of SF the other day. Not the other day, it was like a month ago. I was just gone for a while where I was like super fucking owning and I TP'd to one fight like this and died. And we lost.
feels
So I
bad.
can relate to this death. Um in my experience, the balance here, if I'm summing it up, is you need to be able to fight, and then the rest of your items are about playing the map. I want you to just think about it that way. Be able to fight.
Yeah,
So, like, that's the balance we have to find. Is I've learned that if fights start happening and I have farm and I can't contribute to them, that feels really bad. But I only carry games by being able to play the map. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I look at your items, I think the Hurricane Pike and the Crystalist, neither of those items contribute to how I play the map in this game. Like if I'm against Ursa, Hurricane Pike is a map playing item. Do you
Yeah.
see what I mean?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because I think the reason why I went the Hurricane Pike was because I was scared to like kind of play the map, if that makes sense. But like if I had something like the Silver Edge, I think it's a completely different game.
Yeah, and it's just think about when it comes to playing the map, what heroes on their team kill you, what's the combination of spells that they use and stuff, and what items either make it so you survive that or it's harder to get you with that. Like whether it's Silver Edge or Lincoln's or Manta or Hurricane Pike is against like the Ursas of the world. It's great, because Ursa goes from being able to just go on you and kill you on the map to, oh, I just press Hurricane Pike and walk away, you know?
Yeah. And
So
would you say
yeah, go
like
ahead.
these sort of things are like hero dependent as well? Because I had a game of PL the other day and didn't have the greatest lane. And the enemy offlane was an axe. And instead of going the traditional Yasha axe, what I did was I went Manta first because I was like, if this axe is good, he's just gonna blink, call me, kill me every time I show up on lane. So I used the Manta to push the waves and farm the jungle nearby with the main hero. Would you say it's a similar concept to that?
Yeah, I would. I think it's
Okay.
completely hero dependent and it's completely about. So there's interactions in terms of how they play out in fights, and there's interactions in terms of how they play out on the map. So like if your hero, like I know the PL Axe matchup all too well myself, like I play a lot of PL, so it's like that if you want to clear waves against Axe, like you literally can't. So you bought a Manta so that you can. It's the same thing here. It's like you're stuck playing with your team. What items can you buy where you're not just sitting with your team all game?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just done differently, right? Like, so yes, it is absolutely hero dependent. It's matchup dependent. But like, I know for 5K players like yourself who've been playing for like a decade that you've already got the knowledge necessary to apply what I'm telling you right now. We just need to get those cogs turning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of this is just knowledge gap. You know what I mean? Meaning like if I'm teaching a new Dota player this stuff, like this is fucking overwhelming as shit. But I really do think that this stuff is not that hard to gradually improve on for any Dota player that's been playing that has like the base knowledge. Like you're not going to be as good at it as me, but like or like I'm not going to be as good at it as somebody who's 4K MMR above me. But for me, this is what makes your MMR go higher for
Yeah.
every position.
100%.
So yeah, map interactions are the thing that I think the majority of Dota players are missing now that I'm coaching. Like now that I'm coaching regularly and having these discussions, whether it's supports and how they sit behind the guy that's supposed to be clearing waves or how they build to clear waves, or whether or not it's the carry player who's itemizing a bit too much to play with his team, or he's itemizing a bit too much for team fights, and his items don't make sense for surviving on the map. That's why the Manta Mjolnir build is like so good for a long time now, is because it's just the item that lets these heroes that previously didn't have mantas that cleared waves, clear waves. And in theory, like
Yeah.
the Lunas and Medusas and PLs would be really good, but the caveat is these heroes have been nerfed a lot, and what these other heroes do is that they are incredibly strong laners. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's not like PL, Medusa, Luna are like bad laners, but they're not nearly as strong at laning as Wind Ranger and SF and
Yeah.
Muerta and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's just the tiebreaker. I think all of the heroes like Clinks and stuff and PL and Medusa and Luna, I think all these heroes are still very good because of this reason. They're just not the best at doing it. So as long as you're doing this better than other people, any of those heroes that fit your playstyle should work well. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
But these are the type, like at the highest level, and even in your games, it will be a tiebreaker. If you're playing, Clinks and the other guy's playing SF and he's doing this stuff as good as you are, he'll probably win, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you're doing it better than him, no question, like you can still win those games fine, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, just want to give you the viewpoint of how I see like the meta and adjusting and that kind of stuff. Um,
Yep.
any questions there?
That makes sense.
Okay. So we do have about 5-ish minutes, 10 minutes left. Is there something else you'd like me to see in this game specifically, or like a moment that you want me to go to, or any other questions you want answered? Just making sure we don't miss out on any opportunities here.
Maybe skip forward like 10, 15 minutes because I
Sure.
think like we should have won this game. In my opinion, if I played better, I think we should have won this game. But it got to a point where um, we just weren't doing enough. Like I couldn't kill this necro, so I wanted to go butterfly for the attack speed and damage overall, but I had to go MKB because of all those misses there. I felt like this is really costly. And it was around this part of the game where I was just like, just don't know how to play the game anymore, if that makes sense. Felt really really hard to play the game.
So, this is my thoughts for you. I don't want to like abbreviate it, but I think I can give you all the answers you need to hear.
Yeah.
With the heroes they have Phoenix, who can like egg, and you're the only one that can hit it. They have Tiny, who has 26 armor and 4,500 HP. They have Axe with 2,500 HP, a Blade Mail, a BKB Piercing Disable, and 29 armor. And they have Necro with 2,800 health, a thing that makes you not be able to right click him, and a bunch of survivability shit, right? So, how long are fights going to take?
Very long.
How long can you fight with these items?
Mate, as long as my BKB's up and that's it. So 6 seconds.
Yeah. So for me, you asked like, how do I play this game? Basically, it's that I honestly think you need to be able to fight for longer than 6 seconds. So for me, I'm thinking like I go Kayasha Blink BKB into something like Silver Edge Lincoln's Refresher. And like that's how I play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that means I don't get bursted. That means I have the health and mana regen to play long fights, and I do physical damage with this level 25 talent. The Shadow Rays applies attack damage. Even with that build, you do a lot of physical damage. But the thing is, physical damage kind of fucking sucks this game.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks. And it's okay if you're against tanky heroes and you can just fucking wail on them. Like if it's like a Underlord type lineup and you can just fucking hit them for 30 seconds, then like you can go right click items against tanky builds, right? But for me, 90% of decisions when it comes to items and playstyle past like 30 minutes is how long are fights going to take and do my items make sense for how long they're going to take?
Yeah.
And your answer of I don't know how to play fights, and I would say, well, how do you end the fight in 6 seconds? And you say, I don't think I can. And then I say, well, that's why you don't know how to play the fight, because there's literally no answer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly how I felt in the game. I was like, oops, don't know what to do anymore at this point.
Yeah. And so I want to tell you that I think in your own way, just extrapolate how long are fights taking and how does my hero play the fight? And that's just something that it is hero dependent, it is matchup dependent, it plays out every game differently. But you might just kind of vibe with this stuff better on heroes like Klinks and PL, for instance. Like PL kind of innately plays fights pretty long. And if you know you want to take long fights, you just go Heart and it like solves all of his problems. It's like very straightforward. You know what I mean? It's like one item. But like SF, it's like a complete conceptual thing that you have to plan from like minute 10. So it's like very different. I think SF is like a conceptually very fun, unique, kind of tough hero to understand, but he's so good because he has so many options. Like that's what makes him broken and competitive, is he just has so many options.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I understood why like pros prioritize picking SF over like Klinks as well when you explained it about like 5-10 minutes ago. It's starting to make a lot of sense now.
Yeah, and that's the important thing is that I know as long as you're looking through what I believe to be the right lens here, like you'll take it from there. We just, for the example you gave earlier of I'm trying to show up to more team fights because I saw carry players at the highest bracket doing this and stuff. It's like you're picking up that there's something you're missing, and my goal in the coaching sessions is to kind of guide you towards, okay, I trust you guys kind of see it, but now I need to help you, unpack what you're seeing. So when we look at like feeling like you should have won this game, it's just a matter of not being able to fight late game because of the duration
Yeah.
of fights. And I've made this mistake myself plenty of times. I had like one game, I'll never forget this game where I learned it again. I played Troll Warlord. Oop. I played Troll Warlord. It was I think this was it my last Troll Warlord game? Did this one officially do me in? Let me see. Um it's gonna load, I think. Is there an OD in this game? No OD. This game? I'm gonna find it, don't worry. One of these fucking losses. No. Oh, this must be the game that like tilted me off the face of the earth with. Oh dear. Yeah, here it is. So in this game, they had this is back when like Dawnbreaker was really good. So they had like Dawnbreaker with Refresher, OD with Refresher, and I was like owning this game and like considering the fact that Troll like really sucks against OD. And my thought here was I'm just gonna try to all in them during fights. So I went MKB here. And then right around because they had something that made me miss. I don't remember what. But then so what happened was I think this guy had butterfly or something. What am I crazy? Doesn't matter. So whatever. I went MKB, and what ended up happening right around here was I said, "Holy shit! Fights are taking like 15 seconds, and
Mm,
I can't fight." And I'm like, I need a refresher, but like, look at these items, right? I was like, ah,
yeah.
shit. So my build was to go back for a Lincoln's to sell this for a refresher. I just never got there. Like I literally went from 4-1 to 7-6 and just die over and over again.
Yeah.
And my teammates were like flaming me in terms of like, why are you taking fights this way? And the honest to God truth is, I had no other choice. I just built incorrectly, you
Yeah.
know? And this was a game where I got the real reminder of like, this item was where I threw the game was right here. Because like
Yeah.
for a lot of heroes, BKB refresher is the way to take fights that are longer than 6 seconds. For a lot of carries. But like heroes like
Yeah.
PL and Clinks, not really, because you have like Clinks Ags and you have, PL's ability to like disengage and re-engage. A hero like Slark, for instance. There are carries that don't need that, but like a lot of them, it's BKB refresher against like the heroes you were against. Similar idea. It's like BKB piercing stuns, high burst damage. It's like Necros and ODs and axes and legions. It's like you usually need multiple BKBs to like play the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my spiel for this situation.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that was helpful.
awesome. Are we good on this game? Are we good here?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was around this point, anyways, that I felt like we lost the game, anyways. So
Yeah, the game got pretty. I saw that it got like pretty out of control pretty quickly here. So,
yeah.
and yeah, you were in the same spot I was in that troll game where you're just like, well, my items can't fight, so I'm fucked. That's how I
Yeah.
felt then too. Cool, man. Any final questions or thoughts that you'd like to have for today?
Um, I think overall, it was really really good. I think my biggest takeouts are obviously one, incorporate the twin gates a lot more. Think about the amount of CS I'm missing every time I'm trying to go for objectives, kills, all that sort of thing. And I think it was really nice to understand, like, or maybe like to think about the items that I can buy to actually farm the waves and to be a bit more diverse in the item build. Um, I think another one is like the whole, finally understanding properly why sometimes pros buy the refresher orbs on carries. Like it doesn't have to be someone like a Faceless Void where you want the two chronos. So I think there's a lot of concepts that I kind of understood at a very very basic level, but now it's about like just trying to make them into stack them into good habits. So overall, very very good. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Great to hear it. Sounds like you had some meaningful takeaways, and by my note, like I think you're set up for success. Like sounds like you have the meaningful takeaways that you can draw upon little by little as you're playing. So awesome, man.
Yeah, like I'm really keen to get into a game tomorrow and start thinking about these things a lot more. So pretty excited about that.
Sweet, man. Love to hear it. Thanks for signing up. I had a good time. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, peace.